It's official. The new earth is here, and we collectively are ascending. But what if you're not healing fast enough? Can you totally miss this shift, this transition into the new earth? And what if your fear of not making it in time could actually be the trigger that causes your ascension? So in today's video, we're going to be talking about all of that and more. But first, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Hannah, and I help people to own their powers and step into the driver's seat of their own lives. And today I'm going to be doing that by clearing up any fear-mongering around the whole ascension process and the transition into new earth. Because as I've seen content, as I've heard from clients and stuff, there seems to be more and more fear around the ascension process and the possibility of missing out. So today I'm actually going to be reading someone's actual question to me, and I will keep them anonymous to respect their privacy. But I'm going to read this question because it's really good, and I feel like it captures the essence of the fear-mongering going on in the spiritual community right now. And this person asks a lot of great questions that I think are perfect fodder for a video. They say, when I first heard of the New Earth concept, it actually really resonated with me, but I was also kind of scared because some people would literally talk about it like Christians talk about hell and heaven, and then finish with, you must let go of fear, otherwise you won't get in. I don't even know how to word this, but I'm confused about the time of when this will happen. I've always heard people say time doesn't exist, and people start their spiritual awakening when they are ready. But now they've worded it as, for example, in November 2023, the earth will split into two, and then those who stay will apparently not stay there and won't have a chance of ascending. It's reminding me of Christianity and how they talk about hell and heaven, and I think some of these people talk as if the spiritually awakened are superior. So that is confusing because I thought everyone can ascend at any time. They also say those who healed themselves are going to the 5D earth, but what about small children who survived through abuse and obviously can't heal it yet? Like, this whole ascension thing about when will it happen is worrying, because then I think I have to heal as soon as possible, otherwise I'll be stuck in the 3D. So if, as these people say, I don't ascend on time, will I have the chance to ascend later? Will others? How will it look? Would all these low vibrational people just disappear? I'd really appreciate if you'd make another video about New Earth. So there we have it, friends. I don't know about you, but I can just feel the confusion and polarizing energy and fear in this question. And like I said, I feel like it's not just this person. I feel like maybe we can all relate to this question on some level. I know I certainly have questioned it at times. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to answer each question individually now. So first off, can anyone ascend at any time? Yes. This is just my belief in any case. Maybe other teachers are saying different things. Maybe you believe something else, but I'm just going off of my downloads and my intuition here. So in my opinion, yes, anyone can ascend technically at any time. It does get really, really confusing and really, really hard for our three-dimensional minds to wrap themselves around, because this is an effect of multidimensionality, which is what we're stepping into as we ascend. So you can think of it this way. There are many, many branching timelines, and some of these timelines humanity ascends, and other timelines we do not ascend. And as it stands right now, we're constantly shifting between timelines without even realizing it. So this is already kind of happening. So you could theoretically shift to a timeline where Earth doesn't ascend, but then you can instantaneously shift to a timeline where it does ascend at any time. And this just all comes down to the power of choice and free will. Suffice to say, you don't need to worry if you do end up aligning with the timeline where we don't ascend, because you always have a choice to like move back over. And if you're the type that is even aware of the ascension and is aware of 5D and is watching content like this, trust me, you do not have to worry about being someone that doesn't ascend. Basically, you can see very clearly the people that are not ascending right now, they are dying. Like literally what is happening to those people is that they are dying, and then their soul is going to incarnate on a planet, like a version of Earth or something like that, that is not 5D. It is still 3D. And that is not a punishment, because there's nothing wrong with death. It's just a changing of form. And it's very much a conscious choice on their part. But if there's fear even around the idea that you could be this person, oh gosh, I'm going to be the person that dies because I'm not making it to the new Earth. Trust me, you're not that person. Like that person isn't even aware of that. That question wouldn't even cross that person's mind. So I honestly, I hope that brings some peace of mind to this topic, because I know a lot of people are really stressed about it, and a lot of the information that's out there can totally be like misinterpreted or misconstrued in a way that can make it really scary. I also just want to address the little comment about people talking as if spiritually awakened people are superior. And I would agree. I would say I definitely get that vibe as well. And I feel like that's kind of part of the spiritual ego that maybe we all struggle with from time to time. I 100% struggle with that sometimes. I'm like, oh, stupid humans, like, why can't you just ascend already? I will admit, I totally struggle with the spiritual ego. That being said, spiritually awakened people are not superior to anyone else. And it's not like we're being rewarded by getting to go to the new Earth and these other people are being punished for being unconscious. It's simply a choice at a soul level. Ascend or don't ascend. And those that are choosing to ascend get to ascend. And it's really that simple. And those that are choosing not to ascend aren't going to ascend right now. Eventually, they will ascend. Eventually, we're all going to ascend. But they get to do so in their own timing. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's no judgment there. So now shifting gears. What about small children who survived through abuse and obviously can't heal it yet? Also a great question. On that, I will say, just because a small child has gone through abuse doesn't mean they're not healed and they're not going to ascend. And ironically, I kind of almost want to reference Christianity in this case, because that's kind of what I grew up with. And I believe Jesus is an ascended master and he's very wise. He has a lot of good things to say. And I know Jesus would teach about like, be like the little children, because the little children are perfection. Even when they are going through shit, you know, and they deal with abuse and stuff, they still have a very high vibration. They aren't corrupted really until they get into adolescence. Generally, this isn't always the case, but generally they don't start to get pulled into kind of the overculture of humanity. So you don't need to stress for like kids. Their souls are just as sovereign as anyone else's. They too, they're not like any lesser than adults who have like conscious awareness of all this. Their souls are just as sovereign as an adult's soul. And their soul knows exactly what it wants to do. And it's very possible that many of these young children incarnating right now and going through abuse and stuff, they chose that because it's going to help them ascend. And so on that topic, that's a nice kind of bridge into what I wanted to address. Whereas if you are afraid that you're not going to ascend in time, that can actually help you ascend. So it harps back to when I was talking about triggers in my video on masculine versus feminine energy, which you can check out up here. But basically, if you're hearing about New Earth and you're just like, oh shit, I'm not going to make it in time. I'm going to die. Like, I'm not going to make it to the New Earth. Shit. That's a trigger. And that is an opportunity for growth and therefore ascension if you go into that and you embrace that. So if you are afraid that you're not going to make it in time, know that this is actually kind of like a chance to skyrocket you into ascension. It's your chance to kind of look the time matrix, as I like to call it, in the face and choose to transcend it. Because that's a big part about ascension right now, is that we are literally transcending the time matrix. We are returning to a place of timelessness and multidimensionality. And that requires us first to deal with like all of our fears that have been kind of collectively gathered by humanity, and to face them head on and to choose not to operate under those paradigms anymore. So I would encourage you, if you're getting triggered around the idea that you're not going to make it in time, you're not going to ascend in time, to make the conscious choice in that moment not to feed that fear. And what you can do is you can literally say this mantra. So the magical mantra for today that I would like you to say aloud with me at least once, and then to type in the comments, because both things help with your integration. They're like seeds that you plant into your reality and make them so. So the mantra is, I choose to transcend the time matrix. I choose to transcend the time matrix. That's it. So anytime you feel like you're getting sucked into the time matrix, say that, preferably like 3 times, because it's a magical number, and you'll start to reframe and reprogram your mind for transcending the time matrix, for multidimensionality. So the next point of the question is, this whole thing about when will it happen is worrying, because then I think I have to heal as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'll be stuck in the 3D. So if I didn't already make that clear, you can't be stuck in the 3D. That is the beauty of the times we're in now, is like timelines and timeline shifting, reality shifting is becoming much more fluid. So if at any time you decide you don't like the 3D, instantly you make a choice and you get to shift to the reality where you are in the 5D and you are in the new earth. It is really that simple. So next part of the question, if, as these people say, I don't ascend on time, will I have the chance to ascend later? And again, I believe I've answered that, but yes, of course. At least that's my belief, that you can ascend anytime you want. And basically what's happening to the people, let's say, that are dying right now because they are not like a match to the frequency of the new earth that's here like right now, by the way, they're just dying, they're dipping out, and they're going to reincarnate in a different reality, a different planet, different version of earth, where they get to play in the 3D as long as they want to play there. And then when they make the conscious choice, oh, I want to ascend, boom, they get to ascend. And it's that simple. And they get to be in a reality where there is 5D. So how will it look? Would all these low vibrational people just disappear? LOL. And that's a really good question. No, I don't believe it's going to be quite that simple. The low vibrational people aren't necessarily going to disappear, but your manifestation of their lower vibrational self will disappear. So for example, like, let's say I'm thinking, I have a specific example. I'm thinking of my brother's boss. I just heard him talking about this boss today. So my brother has this boss, and most people like that he works with, coworkers and stuff, are just like, oh, this boss is terrible. He's so scary. He's always yelling at us. He's the worst boss ever. And my brother's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He loves me. And this boss is like always nice to my brother. And my brother like brings that side out of him for whatever reason. Maybe it's his energy. Maybe it's his vibration. But he only ever sees like a good side of this boss. This boss apparently can be very polarizing and can be nasty with other people. But when he's with my brother only sees the good side of him. So basically that's what I'm getting is going to happen like more and more, is when you're ascending to new earth, like you can be with anyone. You could be with like a serial killer and you're going to manifest their best self when they're around you. It's going to be literally impossible for them to be in your reality if they're in that low vibrational energy. So it's like just you alone will like lift people up to ascend. You will lift them up to your level. Some people, they will disappear, and how they will disappear is they will literally die. But that's not anything to be afraid of, because death is just a change of form. And if you were the one that's going to die, like you wouldn't even be asking these questions again. So I feel like I'm just kind of going in circles now. I feel like I've already answered all of the questions. If not, please let me know any confusion, any questions, comments in the comments below, please and thank you. And the final question I'm going to leave with you is, do you feel like you've already started experiencing the new earth? Because believe it or not, it is here right now, and we are shifting into it more and more, my friends. So strap in. As always, if this video was helpful in some way, if it resonates with you, me and the dragons and your spirit guides would love you forever if you could like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and engage with this video in some way, because all of these things help the algorithm along. It helps this information get out to people so we can together transcend the fear-mongering. Am I right? So as usual, my friends, I'm sending you so much love. You are a boss. Thank you for being here. Thank you for just being you. Thank you for shining your light. Know that you are ascending. There is nothing to be afraid of. It is simply a choice, love or fear. You get to choose. So until next time, stay powerful.